guys, it's Emily, and today we're going to learn how to make these pretty cotton candy flowers. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a whole bunch of just colorful paper. You can pick whatever colors you want to, it's your flowers. And then you're also going to need some green paper so you can make stems a little bit later on. You'll need a pair of scissors, a ruler, glue or tape, and then a pencil, and then some straws is what I'm using to hold my flowers up, but you can use a skewer or any kind of long stick that you find. You can pick one from the yard for all I care. And then once you have all of that ready, we'll be able to go through and get started on how we're going to make these today. Hi! Okay, so for step one, you'll take one of your pieces of paper and you will fold it hot dog style, as I said when I was in school. And then after you fold it, it'll look like this. And you'll want to take your open edge and lay it in front of you. And then you'll take your ruler. I have lines on the center of my ruler, so that's how I made my mark, but it's about ½ inch. And then you'll take a straight line, so you'll need your pencil, and you'll go all the way across. So then it'll look something like this. And then once you do that, you'll turn it towards you, and you want to cut from how you have it folded, so the closed end, all the way to your line, and you want to go all the way down your piece of paper. So we'll start cutting it, and you'll want to make not super big cuts, but not super tiny cuts to where it would cut the whole page off. So then you'll just start doing a couple, and you'll go all the way down for the whole page. But then after you get a couple, it'll start to look like this, and you'll just keep going until you get to the very end. Okay, so then after you get it all cut, it'll look like this, and then you'll want to open it back up, and then you'll have it where it kind of makes its peaks facing you. So you want your peaks up so it makes a little mountain, and then you can kind of fold it back out because you want to leave them a little bit fluffy, so when you fold them over, it keeps your flowers all poofy. So then you'll take your glue. You can either use school glue or a glue stick, however you want, and then where you made that line originally, you'll want to do a thin band of glue across the whole thing. So we take our glue and then go all the way across. So then once you have your glue all the way out, you'll take it and you'll fold it over, and then you'll push it down, and you want to set it kind of at an offset like this to where you have a little bit hanging off this edge, and then you just want to keep pushing it down. You'll have to hold it for a couple seconds until your glue gets tacky enough to hold the paper down. But then I just like to make mine have a baby crease. So then once it's glued down, it'll look like this, and you'll have your little puff. And then we're going to let it sit and dry for a couple seconds before we start trying to roll it around. So once you let it set for a second and it's all stuck together, you're going to need some tape. So you'll take your piece of tape and then find one of your edges, it doesn't matter which one you use, and you'll tape it on the back corner so that it'll hang off just a little bit, so that way you can attach it. So I'm using a straw, so you can attach it to your straw. So then you take it and then you line it up with your end. You can either use, if you have a bendy straw like I do, you can use the bendy part if you want it to have your flower like at an offset, or you can use this end. It doesn't matter, it's up to you, it's your personal preference. But then you'll take it and then you'll fold it around so that way it's attached to it, and then you just start twisting it, and then as you keep twisting, it'll start making your flower shape. And then once you get done twisting it, it'll start making your flower shape, and then you can fluff it a little bit if you'd like. And then you need one more piece of tape, and you'll just tape your last little hanging off piece down, and then it'll make your flower. And if you like this size, you can leave it this size. For a couple of these in my bouquet, like this yellow one here, I ended up doing it twice, so that's why it's a little bit fuller. You would just repeat the same steps again, and then you would just take it from the bottom and then just start twisting it around so you can see that it's two separate pieces. But that's just if you want a more full effect, but that's up to you. For your final step, if you want to add just a little bit more to your bouquet, I made a couple of these, and how you would want to make these is you'll take, I used 3 circles for each of these sets, so you'll take your circles, I used about this size, it's about the size of a mason jar lid, and I would cut them out, and then you'll cut each of your circles in half, and then once they're all in half, you will take them and fold them into a cone shape, and then you just have to touch the edges. You don't have to wrap it super tight. So you'll take it and then you'll fold it like this, and then you'll take a little piece of tape and tape right here. So then I've just gone around and folded them over so they just barely touch the top, and then got a little piece of tape and folded them to where it has a little bit of a hole at the bottom. And then you'll need to take one of your green pieces of paper. I went ahead and cut this diagonally apart, and you'll want to roll it into making it into a funnel, kind of like this. You'll start out with it a lot bigger, and then you can just grab the edges and twist it, and then as you twist it, it'll become the shape that you want. So as you can see, I folded it and it's way too big, so you'll just grab one of your corners and then just start slowly twisting it and making it tighter. And then once you get it to around the size that you want it to be at, you'll take another little piece of tape and you will tape your corner down, so then that way it doesn't try to uncurl on you. So then it'll look something like this. You'll probably have a little piece hanging off. I always just take my scissors and just kind of chop it off. That way I have more of an even point to start with, so then it'll look a little bit like this. And then you'll take each of your little circles, so like this one's got a little hole in it, and I'll push it through, that way it'll be the top of my flower. And then if your piece is a little bit bigger, you can just move it around until it'll fit in. And then you just want to take a little bit of glue on the inside and glue it down. And you want to hold it for a couple seconds. And then how I made these ones is I just took a little bit of an offset, and I went each side about the space between each one, so not too far apart because you still want them to show together. And then so you'll just go down and you'll take each of them. This is the only one that you've got to make it go through. All the other ones will just line up on the side like this, and then so you'll just need a little bit of glue or tape and do a thin little line, and then you'll just stick it. And hold it for a couple seconds so that way it doesn't fall off as you try and move it around to work on the other ones. And then you'll rotate it, do another little line of glue. Hold it for a couple seconds, then rotate it. And then once you have them all glued down, you can set it down for a little bit very gently to let it dry. So you can lay it down just flat like this. Since you put them all on an offset, it shouldn't move any of your flowers around. And then once you do have it all dried, you can just put it in your bouquet however you like, and then it'll just add the extra step of decoration for you.